So a change that was made in the latest update, which I haven't really seen anyone talk about yet, are the changes to the wagering in the AC and Siege Winterfell playoffs. So there are three main changes here. One, alliances still in the playoffs themselves can now still bet whilst they're in it. Previously, until you were kicked out, you couldn't actually wager. So here, for example, in HOH, we're still in it, obviously. And if I go to results, I can still wager and bet on stuff to build up my prediction feathers earlier in the bracket, which is really nice because by the time you got kicked out, it just wasn't really possible to build up enough feathers to actually get anything in the shop. The shop itself is still unchanged, unfortunately, so that's pretty terrible. The rewards for well-built accounts are fairly irrelevant, but it's free stuff, and I know it is of interest to people anyway. The other two things that were added were the new ways of predicting, which is the score prediction and the elimination prediction. So previously, you could only predict in this victory prediction way. So the way this worked was every single matchup had a handicap set to what the developers would assumedly see as the favorites. And then if you bet on RRH here, for example, they would have to win by more than 58,000 points for that bet to win. And any other result for Leg would actually be a win for them. So even if Leg lost by 57,000 points and you bet on Leg, that would actually be a winning bet to Leg. So I've made a video on this previously, I think back in 2021 even, on the best way to bet with this handicap system. And that was typically finding the best handicaps to exploit. So here, RRH Leg, I've picked RRH, but 58,000 is a very big handicap, and I think the match will be significantly closer than that no matter what happens. So betting Leg there should be a guaranteed win in my opinion. On that note, with that matchup, at the time of recording this, I do have a stream scheduled for this match, mostly, honestly, to test it and get everything in place to properly stream the WXC ban matches, since those will assumedly be the most interesting and the matches with the most investment in. Maybe HOH MB if that happens, but obviously I'm going to be participating in that, so I can't really stream that. But yeah, I am going to be fiddling around with doing watch-along streams this UC and seeing how it goes, analysing the matches, just generally commentating on them, replying to chat and all that stuff. That is a bit of a tangent though, and not the purpose of this video, especially for anyone who is watching this more than 2 days after the recording date. But now, with this new system, you never really want to bet with this handicap system, in my opinion. Firstly, because it's just less guaranteed, but also the odds for this are always 1-to-1. And if we look at my prediction history here, for example, on this first one, I bet on KAC to win through the handicap, and you see that my feathers went from 320 to 640, so they doubled. It was 1-to-1 odds. I got the initial stake back, and then the equivalent of that stake in rewards. Then in the next bets I've made, I've just predicted on ban to get above 80k points with the score predictions. So that would be like this. And the odds they give you for that were 1-to-2, or at least that's how they list it, like that. And the way these are being paid out currently is you're getting the initial stake back and double the initial stake. So instead of doubling your feathers, you're tripling your feathers, and these bets are just easier. So obviously ban was going to get over 80k against RRH. It's just a guaranteed bet. So it's safer, and you're getting more feathers out of it. So it's more profitable as well. So it's just win-win. You can also find even more extreme odds in the elimination predictions. So there, this will assumedly multiply your initial feathers by 6 if Leg get the top Elim player in RRH Leg, which is plausible to be honest. I think fuck getting that as well is also plausible. It's just a lot less guaranteed. And at the bottom here we have which alliance will have more lords in top 3 in elimination, so you'll need 3 or more of the top 5 in elims. And again, the odds are skewed beyond 1-1 and 1-2 here. With these systems though, you should be able to quite easily find guaranteed winning bets, especially in the early rounds, especially like those 1-2 rounds. As you can see with my history here with Ban, there's just not really a way of messing this up, to be honest, unless you do something incredibly stupid. These matches here are significantly closer than the matches in the previous round, so it's quite a bad example, honestly, but I think WTF there, getting more than 80k is pretty guaranteed, and I'll let my own feathers build up a bit before making my next bet, but you can see the logic there. So the TLDR is, in 90% of cases at least, stop using the victory prediction with the handicaps and look to use, I think, particularly the score prediction and seek out results where there's an overwhelming favourite and then bet on them to get over 80k points. And that's probably the best way to approach this new betting system.